This ginger ale is so funny to me because it's called Canada Dry,
Yeah.
which sounds like a Canadian describing the temperature or the weather in his local land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's
Sure.
Canada like these days? Canada Dry. They don't have prepositions in Canada.
No, they're like Russians.
Yeah.
Wait, prepositions?
Phrases.
Verbs. Is a verb.
Nouns, adjectives. They really lack grammar.
Yeah.
They do have Kelsey grammar, though. I don't know if Kelsey Grammer is a Canadian.
He feels Canadian.
Kelsey Grammer is... He's an American actor.
Shoot.
Stupid. I hate the internet. It always proves me wrong.
It always proves me wrong. Couple of things.
I'm only going to get on parts of the internet that reinforce my pre-existing beliefs. And then I'm going to take a field trip to Washington, D.C. and I'm going to hang out with all of my friends in January. And we're going to do a lot of cool stuff.
The only podcast with AI-generated content.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's funny.
The only AI-generated podcast. I'm Ethan Bot, and I'm Pat Borg.
You just want to do the whole show on your own, huh? Good job.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Crunch, the only podcast with one host. It's your boy Ethan,
and I'm Patrick.
And Patrick is over here he's just doing his own podcast. I don't know if you've noticed this. This is a trend across all of our episodes. Is that I'll be having a conversation with you, and you'll be over there having a conversation with yourself, and somehow it works. But a lot of times I just kind of feel left out of like what you.
It's perfect
because
I get twice the conversation.
You get to hear yourself talk twice the amount of time.
Exactly. I think we should do one of those episodes that like SpongeBob did or like Phineas and Ferb did, where you have the cast, but it's like Phineas and Ferb in like caveman times. So if we did like the Crunch caveman special, where it's you and me wearing like leopard skin. And instead of podcast microphones, we're like hitting each other with clubs.
Yeah, and we could be in a hot tub, and there could be, kind of like we could be in a hot tub.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Be pretty sexy. I was thinking we just watched an episode of Seinfeld last night where they do the episode in reverse.
Okay.
So they start at the end. And then they kind of show you all the events. It's like 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, one day earlier. They show you like all the things, but it goes backwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but it's also kind of funny. What if we did a podcast in reverse?
In reverse. I saw a really good movie that was like that.
Interstellar.
No.
Inception. Inception, man, was so confusing, dude. It blew my mind, bro. I love Christopher Nolan and his filmography.
I still didn't understand Inception.
Yeah,
Inception, very hard movie, very fun, very difficult movie to understand in the year 2012.
Yes. 2012, 2012, the year of people were so concerned about this Mayan thing that like any movie that came out, they were like, this is the best. This is the best it's going to get, because they thought it was all going to,
this is it.
It was all going to fall apart.
It's all going to collapse
on December 12th, 2012. And so you really could have been Christopher Nolan could have gone out on top, He
could have,
but he didn't.
He got put under.
Yeah.
Made
what were you saying?
Another Batman movie or something.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. It was like something Lake. I don't remember.
Lake.
It was a really good movie. I've watched it twice. It was one of those movies where I ended it and I was like, all right, I'm starting this bad boy over again. I
one of those.
Movie and Shimmer. No, not Shimmer Lake. That's not what it was. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up because
really
I'm curious.
Movie.
Shimmer Lake, Shrine Lake.
Shimmer Lake might have been it.
It'd be so funny if you pull it up. You're like Shrek 4. This movie that I forgot the name of.
Yeah, it was Shimmer Lake.
Shimmer Lake. When was it made?
Yeah. It is a 2017 American neo-noir crime film written and directed by Oren Uziel.
That's too many genres. You can be neo-noir or you can be a crime film. You can't be both.
The film was released on June 9th, 2017. about a small town sheriff who investigates a bank robbery that involves his brother and 2 of his former friends. The story is told in reverse. It's very good.
It's like Memento.
So the it's a really good movie. I don't want to spoil it. You should go watch it. It's pretty good.
What other?
The main character is a cop, and his brother, played by Rainn Wilson, otherwise known as Dwight Schrute. His brother is a disgraced attorney general for the town, district attorney for the town, and the reason why he's disgraced is because he got into like drug dealing, or he was the defense attorney for the drug dealer, who's kind of like the big boogeyman of the movie. You're like, oh, he's the one who did the bank robbery. Like they're trying to find him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
let me guess. It turns out it's not him, and it's someone else.
Yes,
the whole time.
It turns out it's not him, and
someone that you'd never expect from the beginning of the movie.
So who was it?
It's the main character. Yeah.
It's very good.
Welcome to Shimmer Lake. It's me. I'm Mr. Lake, and I did the robbery.
In fairness, they do kind of telegraph that at the beginning of the movie, but that did not spoil my enjoyment of the movie.
That's good.
Because the cop's like, sometimes you got to take justice into your own hands. It's like, oh, he killed someone. There you go.
He did a bad thing. Did you?
But
do you think
it's called Shimmer Lake because it centers around? It was a meth factory, like a meth house that exploded. It was a cabin on Shimmer Lake, and so that explosion is kind of the catalyst for the events of the movie.
Do you just have a local building explode and you're like, gotta rob a bank now? You know?
Yes.
Do you think, speaking of the Attorney General, do you think that like the Attorney General and the Postmaster General and the Surgeon General all kind of have like a support group about the fact that they're not real generals? They're just like, they're all kind of wearing their little paper hats with the stars glued on there. And they're like,
why does this have the word general in it?
Yeah. Why do they get to be generals? Are they just like generally an attorney?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Ooh,
also, why is there not like a principal general?
Yeah. Why do we limit it to those professions specifically? Attorneys,
postmasters,
attorneys,
and
the postmen and the surgeons. Is it just because those were the 3 archetypes of people in like 1955 small town America? Is you had the attorney, the surgeon, and the postman?
Yeah, I think that's
those are all the characters in Leave It to Beaver. You know,
you need people to sue, people to sew, and people to go send your mail to you.
Wow.
Yeah,
we're really making waves here in the podcast world.
People to slice, people to advice of counsel, and people to
surmise where your address is if it's
so
not,
they can send
so
you
they
mail.
can bring the mail to your house.
Yes. Those are the 3 kinds of people.
What? I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this on the bonus podcast. Last week, I went to Naples. You did not go.
You did.
I had a lot of fun with John Blevins, Katie Ruby, and Katie Prejean McGrady, and Grassroots Catholic, and everybody else that was there. You did not go.
No, I didn't go. I was cold and I was here.
How does it feel to be, for once, the member of this podcast that's not out making connections with other content creators?
It feels bad, man.
Yeah, we're switching roles. I think.
Yeah, you're the one that's doing like, you're the one that's like tinkering.
Oh yeah,
to figure out a new tool.
I'm in my lab and I'm going and then there's a little...
You sent me a picture of you coding, and I was like, man, this is what I do when I have free time. I'm just like, I'm gonna learn a weird computer trick that is just enough for me to be able to do what I want to do.
Podcasters hate it. Learn this one weird trick.
This one weird trick, learning to code.
Yeah, I actually didn't code at all.
No, you didn't. You downloaded a code.
I downloaded a software and had to use some very basic code knowledge to get it to run.
Yeah. And to think, I bought all these mice for my Python I didn't need.
Clever.
Thanks.
I do think that we need, I would like, this is not a need, this is a want, actually. I would like you know how kind of like the government has rooms full of computers and they're just constantly sort of Like you walk in,
stacked on top of each
yeah,
other.
you walk into the room and you kind of hear like bleep, 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 like in the background, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know
And
exactly
they're decrypting, you know, Russian hard drives and that type of thing.
Yeah, primarily decrypting Russian hard drives.
Primarily. I would like a room of computers, but instead of decrypting Russian hard drives, I need them to be sort of podcast machines, if you will.
How big of a, like, what's the square footage of this room?
Like,
are we measuring in square feet or hectares?
This is like a 4,000 foot warehouse, you know?
4,000 square foot warehouse?
Square feet, not linear feet. I don't need.
No. I was gonna say that's a pretty big
just
warehouse.
one strip. 4,000 square feet.
I need roughly 100 football fields long of computers making podcasts.
Yeah, and they're making podcasts. They're iteratively using AI to make the greatest podcasts on earth. It's kind of like the monkeys on the typewriters making Shakespeare, but instead it's computers using ChatGPT to make the funniest podcast episode of all time.
Yeah, Keith, Grassroots Catholic, did send a funny podcast in the.
I think it just picked up on the title of our last episode.
What was the title of our last episode?
We sent a Catholic cardinal to space, and then this happened.
So I think that it was funny because it was not even in our voice at all. Like this shows you like how far AI has to go, because like it doesn't have time to like listen to. He must
have suggested like,
no, let's do it together.
You want to go back and forth, a live reading. This is like a table read. For
this is a table read of the podcast that we should be having.
Yeah, this is
courtesy of ChatGPT.
This is a new segment of the show where Patrick and Ethan get excited about ChatGPT about a month and a half after everybody else.
No, this is the perfect time.
Ready. So the title is The Crunch Catholic Podcast, opening music, uplifting and energetic theme music.
Checks out.
Welcome to the Crunch Catholic Podcast, where we explore the intersection of faith and everyday life. I'm your host, Ethan, and with me today is my co-host, Patrick.
Hey there, Ethan. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that's been on everyone's mind lately, the possibility of a space crusade.
That's right, Patrick. With the recent advancements in technology and space exploration, the idea of a space crusade has been getting traction among some Catholic leaders. But as always, there are pros and cons to consider.
Definitely. On one hand, a space crusade could provide many opportunities for scientific advancements and exploration. It could also potentially provide a new frontier for evangelization, spreading the Catholic faith to new worlds.
I see your point, Patrick, but on the other hand, there are also many ethical and financial considerations to take into account. The cost of such an endeavor would be astronomical, and there are also questions about the morality of potentially colonizing other planets and the impact it could have on any potential alien life forms.
Audience member's voice. I can't tell the difference between the two host voices.
That's a little Patrick edition. A space crusade.
Do you think that it made that pun on purpose?
Which pun?
The cost of a space crusade would be astronomical.
I think it did.
I don't think it did.
No, I think it did, because if you understand how it works, it feeds in all of all this text from all over the world. And I would bet that enough blogs or posts or articles have used the phrase astronomical in articles about space exploration, that it would create like a positive association. Thank you for correcting my understanding.
I wish I had spent 20 minutes learning about AI like you did today. If you understand how this works. Sorry. In layman's terms, computer goes bleep, bleep, bloop.
Okay. You're being an asshole right now. And I need you to stop.
I thought it was funny for you to say, if you understand how it works, because now you're really being me.
Yeah, I really am.
Explaining a topic you know nothing about.
I read half of a book, and my whole life has changed. And you sit there, hey, don't move. We're gonna spend a half hour on this, and it's gonna be me telling you what I think now.
Oh no, hold on.
Tell me, hurt my feelings more.
No, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Clearly not.
Podcast goes. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
My computer is not plugged in.
Oh.
We gotta do this live.
Yeah, Patrick. So you see how computers work is they kind of need to be connected to the outlet in order to not.
Got that from your electrical engineering degree.
Yeah, I did. I learned a lot about sort of wires and batteries.
I had a good bit the other day in our meeting.
What was our meeting?
Our meeting when you were talking about like, oh, I have my electrical engineering degree. I'm not using it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know you studied. Oh, we were talking to the Exodus guy.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I don't know if this is part of the podcast, by the way.
No, it is now.
Okay. You were talking to that. We were talking to the Exodus guy, and he was like, oh yeah. Well, tell me about yourself. And you were like, well, I studied electrical engineering.
Man, how about you tell me about yourself? All right, we have a meeting now. All right, man.
What's that? What is this?
That's just how you introduced him. He's like, all right,
yeah.
Tell me about yourself. I'm from Exodus 90. I have not eaten food in 45 days.
45 days now?
45 days ago. I work out every day. I've never seen a computer screen in my life. Mitch Hedberg doing Exodus 90.
That's what it was.
I do not think fasting is a very good idea. In fact, I go much slower when I am fasting. Yeah, that's how it goes.
You were like, oh, I'm an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know you were learning to drive trains. And you were like, no, electrical engineering, Patrick. And I was like, I didn't know they had electric trains. It was very good.
It was funny.
It was a good bit.
Yeah, you hit me with the 1-2, the soft serve, the twirly whirl.
The wet willy.
Well, but I think it's important to ask the question, right?
Can we do a space crusade?
Well, I was going to say, is it unethical to colonize planets with no people on them?
In 100 years, we'll figure out why it was unethical.
I love that the computer's like so optimistic. It's like, oh yeah, we could go to space to evangelize. It's like, sure we can.
You're right.
We're going to meet all kinds of people.
We said the same thing about the internet. We're going to say the same thing about space.
It's like the digital continent now. It's like there's other planets that we can go to, and then it's just we arrive and everybody there is just shouting about Tucker Carlson. It's like, oh man, should we?
Catholics, we need this. Like
what do we
need this
space?
We want so badly to do cool things.
Yeah,
but we can't do the cool thing just because it's cool and we want to do it. We have to have a holy reason to do it.
Yeah.
We can't just go skiing because it's fun. We got to go skiing because, we're giving glory to God through using our body. It just, that's true. But you don't have to actively think about that when you're skiing. You can just go ski.
It'd be like serving your wife and she asks you to, for example, can you make me some breakfast? It's like, I would love to make you breakfast because as your husband, when I sacrifice for you, I'm actually serving the Lord in our vocation. And so really, when I'm making you breakfast, it's actually prayer for me. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to sacrifice for you and grow closer to the Lord. And it's like, no, this does not, the woman does not like this. That doesn't help you. It's like, why on earth would we think that doing the same thing for I'm going to go bowling because, God set me up as a pin and he's ready to knock me down and I got to live out. I'm going to live out that Theo drama right now in this lane, this well-oiled lane of pine. It's like, that doesn't, it's absolutely silly. You can just do things. Yeah.
Speaking of, I really want to go skiing.
We should do a crunch skiing trip.
Yeah, all of our investors. We should get all of our board.
Well, the patrons.
The patrons. We can using all of the money they've given us over the past 6 years, I think we might be able to afford one ski trip for all of us.
Probably. I think if we were to do, so obviously we're doing the pilgrimage to the Holy Land in July.
Yes.
Which is going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. If you haven't signed up, now's the time. You got to get signed up. If you have any questions about that, you can send us an email. Ethan@thecrunchcast.com or Patrick@thecrunchcast.com. But other than going to the Holy Land, literally where Jesus was, if you could do any crunch trip, where would you go?
Ooh, good question. Good question. If I had to guess, I would probably go on a space crusade. Although, on the other hand,
I think there are many pros and cons to going on a space crusade with the people.
There are many pros and cons to going on a ski trip with the Crunch patrons.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Rome would be really fun.
Yeah. I probably would go to the bowling alley.
Sorry, you and I are on two different.
I was thinking that maybe we could go. I'm just kind of in a mood about bowling right now because can I tell you this? So we had our whole thing a couple weeks ago.
You went back to the alley.
No. There's a different thing.
Okay.
There's a set of lanes down the road from me.
Sure. Is it walking distance?
No. Nothing's walking distance in Putin's America. I mean Biden's America. But there's a set of lanes down the road.
Putin and Biden.
Hey, I'm going to the bathroom. What are you doing, Putin and Biden? Oh my gosh. That's just silly. There's a set of lanes down the road. They are shutting down in March.
So you get free pins.
Not permanently. They're renovating, and they're going to turn it into a freaking like.
I remember another temporary shutdown that happened in March. in Putin's America, in Biden's America.
Oh boy. Technically, it was Trump's America at that point.
I know. No, we pretend otherwise.
Yeah. So they're shutting it down because they're renovating it and turning it into this like. There's going to be axe throwing and bocce ball and fake grass and a bar and like cool lights and all these things. They're going to turn it into
keep like 2 lanes.
They're keeping 4 lanes out of like the 25 that they have there.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Like, what's wrong? I don't understand. Explain to me this. I don't understand why people who walk into a bowling alley, the last vestige of the America of our grandparents, they've shut down all the soda shops. They've shut down all the drive-in movie theaters. They've shut down all the Lions clubs. The only thing left.
There's a drive-in movie theater down the road from us.
But it's just if you think in terms of scale, like there were so many that are all just gone now. Roller rinks, like these are all.
We don't go to it.
These are all dying institutions.
Yeah.
Bowling alleys was the last one. It's like in most towns in America, you could find a good bowling alley where you walk in. It's dirty. There's an upset teen working at the counter. And the manager is a guy that's a little too into bowling, but he knows his stuff and he's really helpful. You know, like that is an institution, and we're shutting them down to turn them into these theme parks. You know, where everything is $45. And
bowling is so expensive at those places.
It feels like we're moving away. It's the death of Christian culture. But through the lens of the bowling alley.
I like that you get this upset at closing bowling alleys the way that my parishioners get upset at closing churches.
Yeah. I don't care. Close the churches. They need to go. But the bowling alleys.
Turn them into something useful, like a microbrewery.
Yeah. No, not even that. Just like leave it. How expensive can it be? I feel like those bowling machines, like let's say, well, I don't know, there's some kind of terrorist attack and we all sort of, we lose the infrastructure. I'm pretty sure those Brunswick machines could keep running uninterrupted.
I think so.
On their own for
forever.
Another 150 years without any sort of human intervention.
Last of Us, they'll go into a bowling alley.
Yep.
They'll just start bowling and then a zombie will attack. I don't know. I never saw the
movie. You got to watch it. It's a good program.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels interesting that there's nothing else like from that era that's like left, and because they didn't turn the drive-in movie theaters into cool communal young adult yuppie hangout spots. They didn't turn the roller rinks into anything. They just knocked all of those down.
Ironically, they just turned the drive-in movie theaters into parking lots for movie theaters.
Right.
Ostensibly taking up more space.
Yeah. It's just I'm sad, man. I'm sad.
Yeah, this is the kind of mixed use walkable
urbanism,
etc. that
it's illegal to build in most
American
places.
cities. Yeah. But it's I mean, you saw this it was snowing today. We got about 4 inches of snow.
Congratulations.
Today. And you saw you got to see the funny reality of like, a snow-covered road. The plows weren't out because it was only 4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like a snow-covered road. And so you got to see firsthand how much of the street we actually use. Because when the snow's on the ground, people drive behind each other. They don't like speed around.
When the snows are blowing, those Cars, they get a
the
towing.
trucks are towing.
Yeah, trucks are towing. We're going the same way.
They get going.
Yeah.
How much of the road we actually use, and it's not a lot. I saw this post that was like a busy intersection in Boston, and it was like, hey, look, this is the road that the cars were using. We could put, like, this could be walkable area. You know, you don't need, even if we want to keep cars, I think we could wean the people off of cars. Much
like a child is weaned from the teat. We must wean America from the teat of gasoline.
We've been sucking on that pump for far too long.
Some people literally go to gas stations and have gasoline,
guzzling gasoline,
slamming it.
You know, they say gas guzzlers. You think they're talking about a Hummer? No, they're talking about Aunt Betsy.
They're talking the reason that those people drive Hummers is because they drink gasoline.
Yeah,
it drives them crazy.
Yeah,
I would drink gasoline. How much before it kills you?
I think 1. I don't know what the unit is. I think it's just 1
liter.
I don't think you can consume gasoline.
No, you have to, because the cars drink it.
And look at how like healthy they are.
Right. I had almost an automobile emergency the other day.
Yeah.
I went to Tulsa to pick up some chairs for my wife because she ran out. She had sat in all of them one too many times and decided that they were up. Expiration date was hit. No, but we had the chairs that we had been using. We got for like $80 on Facebook Marketplace. They were falling apart. Like, you'd sit down and like the little supports would come out of the leg, and they were no good. And so she found this antique style of chair that she really liked. Great deal. Set of 6. They're all matching. You know, you don't find these chairs, anywhere apparently.
Yeah, I don't build them like that anymore. And
so
sorry, go on.
they were made in Poland in like the 1910s, so it's like pretty cool.
Nice.
So we drive
before the war.
The
other war.
They're
other war.
Antediluvian chairs. And so I drive to Tulsa, and I'm almost there.
One brought him over on the Mayflower.
And a light starts flashing on my dashboard that I've never seen before. It looks like a little pitcher of lemonade. It's like, oh, cool, it's lemonade time. Turns out it means that the oil pressure is low, and that if you're driving, you should not be driving anymore.
You should stop.
You should stop. Yeah. And so I obviously keep driving. And then I get there and I get the chairs, and then I go to like lunch with my friends. And I'm like, surely this will turn off on its own. And then, because it's the lemonade's flashing signal, you know, it's like, make sure you stop for a refreshment. Some newer cars.
So what makes it lemonade and not like iced tea?
Well, I guess it was red, so it could have been like Kool-Aid or something.
Oh, sure. You got to stop for the red ones, buddy. The red ones are the ones that...
It doesn't... One time I was driving...
They specifically color code them so you don't think,
this is a fine.
This is fine.
Yeah.
The check engine light is like a suggestion. Everyone knows that. Yeah. And like the green one that says, hey, your high beams are on is like, okay,
this is not a problem at all.
But the red ones that are like, hey, your battery is on fire, that one you got to...
But I couldn't hear any noises. You know, I was looking at the temperature. It wasn't going up. You know, I was still going at like 80. And I didn't stop. So
the smoke wasn't too bad.
Yeah. The frame was still attached. I know we railed about cars last week, but like one time I was driving my friend's car and it had a little thing that flashed on. If you had been driving for like 3 hours, it's like time to take a break. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what this is. It's like, oh, it's time to take a break.
In a 2005 They didn't care about that in 2005.
So I'm at a stoplight and I'm like looking up the manual online because I don't have
pull over for a big gulp. You're fine.
I don't have a manual. And so I look at it and it's like, okay, oil pan. I click on it and it's like, okay, for flashing, click this one. I click it again. I have to like go through 3 different links in this PDF to get to it. And then it says, if this light is flashing, it means your oil pressure is low. Do not drive. Immediately call for towing assistance, because if you drive while you're turning or accelerating or stopping, it will your engine could have serious damage. And so I was just like doing some calculations in my mind. I was like, okay, I could call a tow truck and get this car towed to the nearest Jeffrey Lube, but I didn't. I just figured like, okay, I've been going for this far for this long. I probably can make it another 6 minutes to Jiffy Lube. And then I did, and the guy was like, hey, you've got a lot of oil leaks, but we can put some stuff in it to like slow that down. I said, cool. Yes, that's what I want. He said, it's an extra $35. I said, That's cheaper than a tow truck would have been.
That's
so
fine. I saved. Yeah, exactly.
It's like I just made $100 basically.
And a transmission. It's cheaper than both of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it all ended up okay. But for a moment there, like as I was reading this PDF, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to have to stay the night in Tulsa because like my car is busted. But we got the home, we got the chairs, the car's fine. Still haven't had any Kool-Aid, lemonade, but the light's not flashing anymore. And then the other one that was on, I just turned it off. The check engine light, you can just turn that one off. And so
you can just check.
I just ignored that one. Off.
Yeah.
We're doing well.
I learned that the good thing is though they make it so hard to turn it off, at least in a 2016 Toyota Corolla, that I don't know how to do that.
You can just Google it. There's always, for any car problem, there's a 50-year-old dude who has like the worst camera skills of all time, but he will tell you exactly how to do it. You know?
Did I tell you, speaking of 50-year-old dudes with cameras, he doesn't have the worst camera quality in the world. Speaking of 50-year-old dudes with cameras, I just recently had to file a restraining order.
Oh no, where'd Patrick go?
Ethan.
Did my internet go out?
Oh no.
Did my internet go out? Did my internet go out? Patrick's internet went out.
Hey, what happened?
Your internet went out.
No, it didn't.
Well, mine didn't.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened because mine's still here and it's recording.
All right, well, so is mine. So
we're
good to go.
So fine.
So you said, speaking of 50-year-old men with cameras, and I said John Blevins, and I don't know if you heard me say that or not.
That's really good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad camera quality because he's got an iPhone. But my dad started a YouTube channel.
Your dad started a YouTube channel? No way.
Do you know about that? My dad is like a super good like sign painter. Like he used to. Yeah. Okay. You know my dad's a sign painter.
Yeah.
So my grandfather died in a year and a half ago. He F's in the chat for Grandpa Pat.
Pappy Patty, as we call him.
My grandfather was about my age, he was living in New York and in Staten Island. And he was getting in with the wrong crowd. And so his older brother, Lawrence...
Hold on.
Or no, not
your dad was in the mob?
My grandfather.
Your grandpa was in the mob?
No, he was not in the mob.
He was almost in the mob.
I think that's what happened. He was getting in with the wrong crowd.
Wow. He was like the beginning of Goodfellas, except for when his dad beats him up, he decides to not join the mafia instead of actually joining the mafia.
Yeah. Basically. I think my grandfather did get beat as a child, but
I think everybody who grew up in the 40s got beat up as a child. I think that's just
fair.
What happened.
Kind of was.
Yeah. Anyway.
So his oldest brother, I forget his name, but my grandfather's the youngest of 12.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Fertile people.
And so the oldest, like when my grandfather was, my age, was like in his 30s or 40s, and was a successful sign painter. And so the way to get my grandpa off the streets was teach him a trade, teach him how to paint signs.
Right.
And so he did. And then he moved to Florida, started a company in Florida. My dad inherited it, ran it for 25 years. And then we had to close it down when I was in middle school, which sucked. But it's a lost art, hand lettering signs. They have like a whole internet forum dedicated to it from like way back in the day when internet forums were a thing, called the letterheads. And my dad would go to these letterhead meets, fly across the country and just go meet up with his boys.
Wow.
And talk about hand painting signs. He would take us, and we I have a really cool walking stick that got pinstriped one time.
Oh wow.
Like this guy did like pinstriping, and he did this elaborate pinstriping on my walking stick. It was super cool. And so my dad started this YouTube channel to like teach how to do this. So if you want to learn how to like do hand lettering, my dad started a YouTube channel, and he's, it was post my grandpa's death, so it was like a kind of like a tribute thing to my grandpa, which is cool. So yeah, if you want to go check out a 50-year-old man who's just working out in his carport, my dad just like outside in Florida paints signs.
That's great.
Fun. Yeah.
What a dream.
I know, right? It's a side hustle, but it's not a side. That's the dream.
Should we start a YouTube channel?
We did.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
Your post on Twitter,
yeah,
on the Crunch account the other day. First of all, I can't believe YouTube responded. They don't even respond to real YouTubers, and I can't believe you said that. That's so funny. Can you send us a small one? Can you send us a 100th of a creator play button?
I said, so we got 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe, the Crunch Catholic Podcast. It's on YouTube. You can just look it up and click subscribe. The link is in our description. Yeah, it's on our website at thecrunchcast.com.
No, I said it's on the website, youtube.com.
It's on the website, youtube.com. But I screenshotted that and I said, hey, at YouTube, when do we get our play button? Because obviously I wanted to celebrate, getting 100 subscribers, but I didn't want to be like, I wanted to let everybody know that I knew that this wasn't a big deal. And so I made a joke about how, like, hey, where's the play button? We're a pretty big deal. YouTube responds, automated, obviously. They're like, thanks for the screenshot. Creators get their play button when they reach 100,000 subscribers. And then I said, can you just send us a small one because we only have 100 subscribers? They didn't respond, which I think
jerks.
I know. Wouldn't that be so funny though if they did send us one that was 1/100th
Susan
of
Wojcicki
the size?
Goes, hey, sure, I'll just send you one.
I've thought about it and I've realized, why don't we do this for everybody who gets at every milestone? We should be rewarding them. They don't understand that I'm a part of the millennials who needed participation trophies.
Yeah. Give me a participation trophy.
Yeah. I don't know how to stick up for myself. I don't know the meaning of hard work. I only work for something if I get a meaningless prize at the end of it.
Yeah, baby.
Dumb. Absolutely dumb.
Oh man. Speaking of meaningless prizes. Whoa.
Sure.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Stupid computer.
Hey, be nice. These computers are writing all of our blog posts.
I'm gonna punch it into face. I don't feel bad. People would, you might say to me, Patrick, you're a writer. Are you okay that AI is taking over, like the liberals are taking over?
Mm-hmm. The liberal AI.
I say to that, yeah. And I say to that, yeah, I don't care. Sometimes when I'm writing Catholic match posts, it's like I have an idea, and it's kind of an idea that can be summarized in like 20 words, like a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
And most of the work that goes into a blog is just filling space.
Yes.
And these are the kinds of things that can be automated because my brain is doing them automatedly. It's like there's not a lot of creativity involved in writing a blog post.
I think it'd be funny
at a certain point.
For us,
at a certain point,
yeah.
A lot of people do really good work on blog posts. I don't want to knock it, but there's a certain kind of blog post that you find on these like info websites where it's like how to. People get paid to do these how to blog posts, and it's because it drives traffic and there's SEO and there's tricks to make it so that it shows up easier in Google's.
Right.
And those blog posts are not worth anything.
No, they're $0.
And like, they're not worth anything creatively speaking.
Yes.
They're worth something monetarily speaking.
That's
because
true.
They fill up space. But people skim them, Anyway, I'm not threatened by AI because they can't write a book.
Yes.
They can't make a new point.
Yes. They can only
make points that have already been made before.
Right. Which is what most books do in the business world anyway. But
that's true.
I think it'd be a funny video for us to both try to get an AI generated blog post accepted by a major publication and see which one of us could do it first.
I don't think that would be hard.
All right,
but I do think it would be illegal.
Why would that be illegal?
You're passing off work as your own. You could get in trouble for that.
I put the prompt into the thing. What are they going to do? Send cops to my house and take me to jail? Because I used a program that's free and legal? I am well within my rights to use ChatGPT to lie to America Magazine. Okay?
Ethan, I am a professional writer.
Yeah, me too.
If I did that, I could get discredited. All right? I don't want to do that.
Who discredits you? There's not a central legislative body that's like, this guy used AI.com/ban him. You're worried about that. It's like, it's going to go on your permanent record.
Writers can like ruin their career through plagiarism. If I submitted a blog post I understand what you're saying.
John Grisham uses a ghostwriter. Millionaire. Doesn't matter.
He pays the ghostwriter.
Yes, I'm paying ChatGPT with my words that I'm putting into it so that it can make better words for the next person. I'm feeding it.
Don't feed the AI.
You're not going to get discredited.
I'll do it under a pseudonym the way I'm going to write my novels. I'm going to write a novel under a pseudonym. Did I tell you about this?
No. I feel like you didn't properly address my points, but we can move on.
Oh. Okay. Speaking of things that are easily repeatable, easily replicable by artificial intelligence, but are kind of fun to do, women. Just kidding.
What?
I don't know,
Patrick.
I wanted to know.
No.
What's the best?
No.
What's the best word that I can start this sentence off with that is gonna make you do that? Is what I was thinking.
Patrick, we can't. This is a pro women podcast.
I wasn't saying that women are easily replicable by AI.
You did say that.
You
did say that.
I was gonna say women have told me in the past about this thing. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Ethan. No, I was
people are gonna write in. We're gonna get calls. We're gonna get letters.
The Google spiders are gonna see our transcript and say that we're being misogynist.
Yeah, the Google spiders are gonna lay eggs in our chests, and we're gonna explode and die because you made fun of women online.
So I've told you we've talked about this in the past about how I found out that people make money writing Amazon direct publishing, Kindle direct publishing books, right? Yes. And I've told you how I think it's not easy because you have to like do it. You have to write the book. Like that's a hard thing to do.
Yes.
But like writing the story is something that, you can do over and over again. You just plug and play. Like it needs a gripping hook and then like a compelling character and the sex scene.
And it needs
or whatever.
A denouement.
What?
The end, like the denouement.
A denouement?
A denouement.
An endowment?
No, like a kind of like it's at the end where like the falling action is happening and it's kind of the resolution. It's the denouement.
Yeah. Denouement.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'm
not gonna let you have this one.
You don't let me have any.
Like a dog with a bone here.
Yeah.
That's fair. I am the hair.
How about the people being like, Ethan, it's pronounced hors d'oeuvres in the Discord.
Horse divorce.
It's like, I know. Trust me, I know. I have a degree. Okay.
In electrical engineering. Okay. I can drive an electric train through a horse divorce. All right. You can't. Nobody can stop me.
Yeah. All right. Tell me about your thing now that you've properly humiliated me thrice on this podcast.
I only get one more and I get a free sub.
Oh, no.
Get a free sandwich. I was thinking about this and I was like, I might want to try it, write, fiction novels and I like write novels. And I've talked about like, the Mailman book and I'd probably publish that in my own name because I've talked about it on the podcast. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I don't want writing, genre fiction or category fiction that's like not great. And it's just for the purpose of like an interesting thing to read on an airplane. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to like clash with my theology, right? My theological nonfiction, the stuff that I like think about all the time and put a lot of work into. And then I remembered you can just make a fake name and write books under that fake name.
That's what I'm saying.
You can just do that.
Yeah.
And so I was coming up with a fake name.
Okay.
That you guys can know about, but like the point is I'm not gonna like try and hide it, But I'm trying to come up with a fake name to write bad like thrillers. I'm also trying to figure out like what the main character should be, and I was like, I'm trying to figure out an interesting character, and then I found this really popular serial thriller writer whose main character is one of the most uninteresting people I've ever heard of in my entire life.
I think your name should be Reggie Butterman. What do you think?
Am I Jewish or?
Is he black? Is he Jewish?
Is he Jewish?
We don't know.
Both?
He's I think
that is an interesting person, interesting picture you're making.
Yeah. Well, you can obviously pick any name that you want, but my vote goes for Reggie Butterman, our buddy, Mr. Man, whatever you want to call him.
When I was little, my idea for the last name, I'll say I don't know the first name yet. My idea for the last name was when I was little, I couldn't pronounce my own name.
Okay.
and neither could my little brothers. And so they would call me Packet instead of Patrick. And so I was thinking Packet, Packett,
Packet
would be a good last name.
Packet, Rich Packet. It needs to be like a hard one syllable first name. Rick Packet. Rick Packet. Richard Packet.
Richard Packet.
Dick Packet.
Dick Packet.
You have to write a very specific type of genre fiction to be named
Fudge Packet.
Fudge Packet. Yeah. How about no, that doesn't work.
No.
Bill Packet.
Bob
Packet.
Bob Packet.
Bob Packett's too close to Bob Saget.
John Grisham.
No. John Grisham. John Grisham 2. Not
John Grisham Jr.
John Grisham Jr. Is that legal? Could you do that?
No.
I don't understand what's legal. So it's like you can make up a whole ass fake name to write underneath, but you can't use AI. But you also can't name yourself John Grisham Jr., even though it's the fake name that you really, really want, because apparently there's some board that decides whether or not you're a real author.
So
I don't care.
There is
I'm going to be a book guy.
You also can't name your company like Coca-Cola books. You can't like name a book company Coca-Cola Publishers, because there's a law in trademark law or copyright law that like this is implying a relationship that isn't there.
You don't have a right to your name.
You do.
No.
What? Yes, you do.
No, you're telling me that I could go. I have, let's pretend I have another son. I have a child. I can name him. I can't name him Patrick Nevy III. As if like
you could.
I could. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you have no right to your name, because I can just make a new person and name him that and be like, no, this is him now. So all the John Smiths out there punching the air.
So this is the thing, right? Is like when you sue someone, you don't really need to like be like, this is the law they broke. You know what I mean?
Then what are we doing?
When you sue someone, you can just say like, this person is causing me
harm,
this much money and damage.
Okay.
Because they are using my name, John Grisham, to sell books.
You can also sue for like emotional damage, can't you?
You can.
So John Grisham could sue you because you hurt his feelings when you named yourself after him. Poor John Grisham rolling in cash. See Scrooge McDuck in it, and he's gonna come after you.
So if I was like, I'm John Grisham and I wrote this novel, he could sue me for saying you are infringing upon you're stopping me from being able to sell as many books because people think that
you're stopping me from swimming in my 3 swimming pools of cash.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That's the thing though, he probably wouldn't, because it's like
right.
So like this is an actual example that I learned of from a TV show, right? So, or from a YouTube video. So Taylor Swift released the Evermore album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Paramore.
There was Evermore. There was a theme park called Evermore, and they sued her. Yeah, they sued her.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were like, now when people look up Evermore, they're not finding us.
Right, they're finding
and
her
so
album.
The judge was like,
because I'm like, I want to go to that theme park, and then I see Taylor Swift's album, and I just completely forget that I want to go to a theme park.
Yeah, and so their standing was we sell Evermore t-shirts, she's selling Evermore t-shirts, and we have a copyright to sell t-shirts with the word Evermore on it, and so she can't do that.
Wow.
And so Taylor Swift was like, okay, fine. And then she countersued them for playing her music in their parks without her written permission.
Nice.
Yeah. And so it's like there's a bunch of people breaking laws that are like, technically you're infringing on copyright.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna do anything about it because it's hard. It's complicated, and who wants to file a suit and spend money on that and like pay your lawyer? Like no one wants to do that for like what is it hurting? Taylor Swift, you're playing a love story in a theme park, whatever. It doesn't matter. My music is getting popular. But if you're gonna do me like that, I'll do you like that. So
I'm gonna write an album and call it Six Flags Dallas and see what happens.
You can also just send a cease and desist letter.
To anyone at any time.
Just anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should have a form cease and desist letter. We should send a cease and desist to Captain Crunch. I think that would be funny just to see.
I think that guy has sailed the 7 seas far too long.
I think it would be.
He forgot about the 8th sea.
I think it'd be really funny, like as a podcast bit, to engage in legal action with General Mills and then get our whole thing shut down. I think that would really put a nice.
We've really gone from let's make this thing our livelihood to let's destroy this.
Well, I think when we're ready to be done, that should be our like pull in case of emergency. Is like threaten to sue Captain Crunch and then create a media storm. And then like, obviously someone's going to pick up on it. And Steven Crowder's going to be like, the woke, cereal company is trying to shut down a conservative podcast, and then we're going to make all this money from, free advertising.
Then we can get acquired by the Daily Wire for $50 million.
Yes.
And then you can dress in drag like you've always wanted to.
Yes. Speaking of dressing in drag, we got to do Dr. Ethan's dating corner.
I love the transitions. They're getting better and better. What was the one last week? I don't
remember.
Someone said they really liked it.
Yeah. I have to go in 12 minutes.
All right, we can do
probably 11 minutes. So we got to
minutes.
Hit it quick. So we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to run.
I got to run. We have to drop off some food for our friends who just had a baby, but they live across town, and so we have to drive to them from where we are.
See.
Yes, indeed. Because we don't have mixed-use urban walkable spaces.
All right. Two options. One, asking someone out, or two, what to do about wishy-washy men.
Ooh, let's hit the men. Let's hit them hard.
Yeah, I made a women joke earlier, so let's hit the men.
Yeah, we gotta get after the ladies. I mean, the men.
The men have had it too easy for far too long.
Yes.
I've already started getting flack about my book topic. Someone on Twitter was like,
people are going after genitalia regalia?
Yeah, they're already going after it. They didn't like that I said that men need to understand men need women to help them understand their femininity. They called me a beta simp. And I was like, yeah, if this is a popular idea, the book already would have been written. So
I would be like, thank you for the compliment, good sir.
Yeah. I was like, thank you for proving my point in real life.
Tips Fedora.
Okay, Crunch Bunch. This is from Flannery5480.
Howdy.
Okay, Crunch Bunch, I need your advice about a purely hypothetical situation.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best move if a guy is being wishy-washy or hard to read? Well, we all know the answer to that one. For a few months now, he's been doing random things that are kind of weird, turning around his seat to stare at me from across the room, making really long eye contact at me from across the table.
Uh-huh.
Licking his chops when I walk by.
Is this guy a jungle cat? Is that? Oh dear.
Inside jokes, compliments, etc. I'm trying to just be friendly or receptive, let him make the moves, but sometimes it seems like he doesn't want to invest in friendship, like not responding to texts. What do I do? Do I talk to him? Do I give up on the whole situation? Help. What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I think first you got to be careful because it seems like he is going through a lot. He flips his chair around and stares at you.
That's kind of weird.
Like as a bit, as a joke.
I need more context on that one. What are you looking at?
Nothing. I just gotta text my wife.
My wife asked me, "Are you seeing this rainbow?"
I was a Trump voter, so no.
Oh man, the sky's gone woke.
I would just say, because I have to go, but I would just say that the thing that you got to do is, you just got to go up and talk to him. Very simple. Seems very hard, but I think a conversation where it's like, hey, you're giving me a lot of mixed signals, and I don't know what they mean. Can you please explain that to me? Instead of going to other people and saying, hey, this guy is giving me a bunch of mixed signals, and I don't know what they mean. Can you all explain them to me? There's only one guy that knows what they mean, and it's your jungle cat friend. It's your it's the man who's perched across the room, staring at you and kind of salivating. Right. So I think I wouldn't read too much into texting. I think people put a lot of stock into texting. I don't text back my best friends ever, typically. And so it's just weird. I wouldn't put a lot of stock into that. I would put all of your marbles into the one egg basket. And that basket is full of, hey, can you explain this to me?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I just like you. It's like, oh, okay, ask me out then. And then if he doesn't, then you can move on. But if he does, then it's like, all right, cool. Now we have some clarity. So you kind of have to force it by just being a human being. Like there's a lot of Catholic women are so like, oh, I have to let him pursue me. But if he's just being, if what he's doing doesn't make sense, ask for clarification.
Yeah.
That's all.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to give advice, I would probably say just like, talk to him calmly, just very clearly. Just doesn't matter what you say, just talk to him. And then back away slowly. Whatever you do, do not turn your back on him.
Yeah.
Make yourself appear really big.
Really big.
So that he's kind of threatened.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't run because that encourages him to chase.
Right. They respond to movement.
Once you're clear of his eye line, you're probably out of danger.
Yeah.
So,
and the nice thing about him is that his eyes are kind of perched on the sides of his skull. So if you stand directly in front of him, he can't see you.
So I was doing a jungle cat thing. You're doing a T-Rex thing.
Yes.
This is like actually what you're supposed to do if you encounter a wild cat.
Yeah, I don't know. I never read any of those books. I got to Magic Tree House number 3, and then I stopped reading. And so all of the information that I could gather about jungle cats is lost on me.
The dinosaurs one was the first one, so you.
Yes, so I know that one. I know about the one where they go to space. And I know the one
that's the 8th one.
And then I know about the one where they go into medieval times, the knights.
That's the 2nd one.
Okay. So why do you know that?
I'm so happy. This is the first Patrick thing that I did as a kid was I memorized all of the Magic Treehouse book numbers. I could tell you what each book was.
13.
And then I could tell if you gave me a number, I could tell you what book. I can't do it anymore.
Oh, well then, okay. So why bring it up as if it's like you're so impressive? You did this when you were a kid. I memorized Weird Al Yankovic's Hardware Store, and I can still sing it.
Can you?
Yes, I'm not gonna do it right now because I literally have to go so bad. But
yeah. So you just happened to say the 3 that I knew. The first 4 are easy because it's the dinosaurs, the knights, the mummies, and then the pirates, and then I forget what the 5th one is. But yeah, I know the first 4, and then the 8th one, and the 21st one is Camelot. Anyway, what?
Nothing. This is insane. People should go to bit.ly/crunch discord to join the greatest Catholic community on the internet. If you like what you do and you want to support us, you maybe want to get an extra bonus
if they
podcast.
Like what they do.
If you like you like what we do, and you like also what you do. If you're happy generally in your life, then you should go to patreon.com.
If you're satisfied with your career.
Patreon.com/thecrunch. It's the place to go for supporting us and getting extra bonus content every week. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at the Crunch Catholic Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Crunchcast. All of these links will be in the description. Patrick, do you have anything else for the people?
Tune in next week for an AI-generated butt kicking.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We'll be praying for you, and we'll see you all next week.